Now, you know how we always do it here is we talk about issues, crucial issues trending now on the Nigerian scene and abroad. And today's issue brings us back home and the center of gravity, which I will let you know much later. But before that, let me start by saying 146-page document was produced by the 17-member task force headed by the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ribadu. Now, it was set up by the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Desiani Alison Madueke, in January after the fuel subsidy protests. Now, though the report has not formally been adopted by the government, there seems to be a lot of controversy around it. So many issues centering around the talk on the Ribadu report. And that brings me to today's topic, which is about the Ribadu panel report and corruption controversies in the Nigerian oil sector. Now, as we always do, there's always a guest on the show to rub minds with me on these issues. And today we have a gentleman here very versed in this topic. His name is Adeniyi Odunsi, a legal practitioner, oil and gas legal advisor, and political analyst. I'd like to welcome you to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you here.
Same here.
Now, I hope the traffic wasn't a problem for you.
No, not this morning.
Okay, the fuel scarcity has kind of...
yes.
Simmered down. Yes. And that's a welcome development. Now, back to the business of the day, sir. Talking about the Ribadu report now. The Minister of Petroleum and Petroleum Resources, Alison Madueke, has confirmed that she has received the report last month, but as Nigerians expecting the reports to be rolled out so that we can begin to see action being taken, she says, well, it's just a draft. What does this mean?
Well, it's not a draft. As you're well aware, I'm sure, you know that the Financial Times, for example, has already come out with some important parts of this report. And the Financial Times did state in its own report that what they saw had final report written on it. So how that got out is something that needs to be investigated to start with. Now, the position really is after, when the government sets up a commission, the commission comes up with a report, and then the government comes up with a white paper. Now, it's both that report and the white paper that will be released to the public. What we have now is that the report has, one way or the other, gone out without the white paper. Now, what the white paper does is to state the position of the government as it pertains to that report. So, the government has not been able to state its own facts, its own position regarding some of the matters raised in that report, and that's why we have much of this, hula baloo.
About the whole thing.
Yes, about the whole thing.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of reports coming through media, newspapers, and all that, that oil companies are jittery concerning this report. Is there any reason why some people should be wary of that report seeing the light of day?
I really don't think so. I think there's just a lot of politics going on. The truth of the matter is most of what is contained in that report, or what is said to be contained in that report, is already what the public is aware of. That all this talk about the rot in the industry is not a new thing. We all know that. All these things going on. You see, there are two major aspects that I think are interesting. The first one is confirmation of the fact that the NNPC gets 445,000 barrels of crude to turn into petrol and other things. Now, this was what was stated during the riots in January. The point is, how much do they pay for the 445,000 barrels? They said they always pay the international price. Other people have said no, you pay much less, far less for it. Now the Ribadu report is confirming this. And what we've always said is that there is no subsidy.
Okay, that has been the statement that has been going back and forth. That there's no subsidy.
No subsidy, because if you are not paying the international price of crude oil for this thing, how come you're asking Nigerians to pay 97 naira per liter? Now that's a very important point that people are not looking at.
Doesn't that confirm statements that come from David Mark, gentleman,
Tam David West. He does confirm it.
That he made put it on paper, calculations and all that.
It's been confirmed again. There is no subsidy. Now the second one, which I think is even more important, is this. Nigeria is the only country where you have crude oil being mined without any gauge, without any means of knowing exactly how much crude oil is pumped out of this country. One of the terms of reference for Ribadu's commission is to get the right technology
to plug those leakages.
To plug those leakages so that you know throughout the whole system, production, export, you know exactly how many barrels are being mined daily. They said it's been put at 2 million now, but we all know that is simply not true.
Not true.
There's so much theft going on. Now, these are the areas I think we should concentrate on.
Okay.
The PIB is there already. Now, when the PIB is passed, it's going to block most of these leakages, make the whole industry a lot more transparent.
Okay.
So this is just politics. It's what we all know.
In essence, what you're saying is that all these reports about the rot in the system and what have you are just distractions from the actual thing, which is to get the industry accountable to know, the figures, accurate figures from the industry, so we know how much the nation is making or losing.
Or losing, yes. That is exactly what is going on. Okay. Now, there are other sides of this. When the minister appointed Ribadu, a lot of people were wondering if it's a case of jumping on the back of a tiger. How independent would Ribadu be?
Okay.
Could Ribadu be handled? Now, the problem we have is that...
Okay, Ribadu is seen as somebody very unstable and
volatile.
Volatile.
Now, for the minister to have put Ribadu there, it means she wanted some transparency, because anybody that would think you can...
And she wanted results.
She wanted results. If she wanted to cover things up, there's no way she would have gone for Ribadu. So a lot of people are now saying, well, that thing was leaked so that there will be no cover-up. Come on. If she wanted something, that would deceive everybody, why would she go for Ribadu?
So in essence, she has resolved that issue of credibility by
She has. By putting Ribadu there, she has. Now, the only problem that I have with that report, if it's indeed the report, is that what it shows is that the minister and the government really didn't have an input.
Okay.
They probably were not interviewed. They probably were not asked questions before this report came out, because they would have been able to shed more light on some of these things that she's now denying. Look at these discretionary licenses. The report says she gave out 3 since she got there. She said she hasn't given out any.
Okay.
Now, unless she's a serial liar, it will be very strange for a minister to be saying, I never gave out any, and the report is saying she gave out 3. Something is not quite right there.
Isn't there any documentation to support or refute her claim?
Now, what she said, interestingly, she said she did not, but she went on to say the president has the powers to do that.
Okay. To veto her decisions?
No, to give out these licenses.
Okay.
So is she saying it was the president that did it and not her? These are the things that the white paper would clear. But unfortunately, somebody was trying to be smart and decided to leak it. just to, cause a lot of distractions as far as I'm concerned.
Our own version of the Julian Assange WikiLeaks, if you
Yes,
might say so
WikiLeaks.
myself. Well, if you just joined us, it's Let's Talk. And so far, we've been talking about the Ribadu panel report and corruption controversies in the Nigerian oil sector. My guest, Mr. Adeni Odunsin, is a legal practitioner, oil and gas legal advisor, and political analyst. And so far, he has been shedding some light on the issue and giving us a better understanding of what the report is all about. Now, sir, concerning this Ribadu report, the report concluded that oil firms like Shell, Total, and ENI made bumper profits from cut price gas.
Yes.
Now, while Nigerian oil minister handed out licenses at her own discretion, which you just talked about now. Now, this according to the analysts, is not illegal per se. But did it not follow best practice of using open bids? What's your take on this?
Look, this report is supposed to cover from 2000 till 2012. Okay. 2002, 2012, 10 years. Okay. Right from when oil was discovered, the rot started.
Okay.
It didn't just start with the president, this president now. I think what we're supposed to do is give credit to this president for shedding light into that sector for the first time. NNPC, Total, Shell, and ADAX, they're the shareholders of the NLG.
Okay.
Now, when gas is given out, they buy gas, again, cut down prices. So they've made a lot of money, but not just Shell, not just Total, also NNPC. So what's the complaining about? It's just politics. I keep saying it's just politics. These are shareholders. If they buy at a lower price and they sell to the international community, as the NLG, the company itself, is there any problem with that? They're being presented now as if these are not shareholders. They're buying and selling. They're actually shareholders with NNPC.
Okay.
Are they not supposed to make profit? Is NNPC not making profit? What is all the noise about?
So in essence, there's no need for...
No, that's why they said, look, it's not illegal. If they'd done anything illegal, then you would go after them. They've done what every company would do. Maybe not enough transparency, but that is not surprising in itself. That's the way the industry has been run for so many years.
Okay.
What's his name now? This former service, Danjuma, yes.
Okay.
Came out some years ago talking about the patronage.
All right.
And said he was given an oil license, an oil block, which is sold for $1 billion. Just an individual.
Now, is that right?
Of course, it's not right. But this is what has been going on. And finally, you find a president who maybe was pressured into it for whatever reason, decides, hey, let's become transparent, or let's make this more transparent. And instead of being encouraged, what people are doing is going into criticisms again. We seem to have made the abuse of our leaders a national pastime. What we need to do is encourage these people. Let's get it right. What Ribadu was told to do is go after, first of all, verify the revenues due to government that are missing, that haven't been paid. Then do debt recovery. How do we get this money back? We all know what has been going on. What we're interested in is, if any money is missing, how does it come back? It's not to be saying, oh, some people, funny people, saying the woman should resign, the minister, she should resign. Resign for what? It's all politics. There's an interesting angle, which has to do with Ibori's $15 million bribe. Now, this hit the news after Ribadu was appointed chairman. Now, Ribadu has been seen as someone above board. But he was the one in charge when this bribe was supposed to have been given.
Yes.
There's no evidence that he partook of it,
Okay.
but other people are now saying that this report was leaked to still show that he's still above board. That's why I say everything is being politicized.
Politicized, okay. It's kind of teleguided.
It's kind of teleguided. What we need to do is to say, okay, this is the report, what's the position of the government, and what's the way forward?
Okay, very good. I like what you have said so far. But tell me, the report alleges that international oil traders sometimes buy crude without any formal contracts. Nigerian Natural Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, had shortchanged the Federation of billions of dollars, over the last 10 years by selling crude and gas to itself below market rates, which you've pointed out earlier. Now, even suggestions, according to the leaked report, say that NNPC should be totally unbundled or a bit part player. Now, what's your...
No, it has to be unbundled. It's inefficient. There's so much corruption in the section. I mean, in that sector.
Okay.
It has to be unbundled.
Totally.
People have to come in and buy shares.
Okay.
It has to go public.
Public.
We have to get experts, people who know how to do business properly, to do it. The thing is, it's going to make the price of petrol and these things go up.
Go up, but eventually, what will
Eventually, it should come down. When we start, it's going to be like the GSM.
Okay.
The prices are going to
go
right off the roof.
I remember in the past, the Venezuelan government.
Yes.
So they produce oil.
Yes.
And then they buy the cheap. Their oil is, it's cheap. They can't afford their oil. I mean, shouldn't Nigeria be like that at the end of the day if this goes through?
You see, the problem we have is inefficiency.
Okay.
And not being realistic. When this thing started in January, when all the rioting was going on, I knew it wasn't going to last. Because Nigeria is just not ready. We are just not ready.
We are not, how do you say, we are not pushed to the wall yet.
Yes, we are not pushed to the wall yet. The average Nigerian would rather buy this same petrol we're talking about instead of 97. If it becomes scarce, the average Nigerian would not mind paying 200 naira.
Petrol has been sold 120 at the pumps right now.
Right now,
120, and people are actually buying. And earlier we protested against this, and quietly it's been introduced.
It's been introduced. That's what I'm saying. We are not ready for it yet. You're talking about Venezuela. Venezuela and Nigeria are two different countries. Until people decide to say, I'd prefer to stay in my house, even if it's for a month, 2 months, until I get what I want.
That is, they are ready to pay the price for a change.
We have to be ready and willing to pay the price. I knew it wasn't going to last. It was so unfortunate because it was time wasted. Let me put it that way. If people had sat down in their houses and refused to go out until it was reversed, because that's what we're finding out now. There is just no subsidy.
Okay.
So we're just not ready. The only way we can go, that someone met with President Obasanjo immediately after the GSM and said to him there are cheaper alternatives. You know what Obasanjo said?
Okay.
He said, because of the corruption, I can't go for the cheaper ones. I have to go for the expensive one. That was his answer.
So it's because of the
corruption, because it will not work. So, unfortunately, that may be the fate of the petroleum industry in Nigeria.
Okay.
Because the moment you're still able to say some people can get it cheaper,
okay,
it's not going to be a level playing field. Government will still pay people, patronize people with licenses, with things like this. But the minute everybody knows that, look, this is the price.
Okay.
Well, it might be higher than what we should be paying.
But everybody is paying the same price.
Is paying the same price. Then there's transparency. Well, look, how do you drive out corruption when you don't know the amount of crude being pumped daily?
That is a very big question, but we've deployed a lot of security operatives by even employing the former militants who were the ones actually causing problems in the industry to patrol, to police, that terrain, and yet still we're still having these issues. And in the reports, we know how much is being allocated to security patrolling or to these militants.
See why I laugh, because let me explain something to you. When Jonathan wanted to contest last year,
okay,
as we know, politics in Nigeria is money.
All right.
He didn't have as much money as people like Atiku, Babangida, and co. He had to get his money from somewhere. I hope you are getting my drift.
Okay, and how did he do
now,
that?
Now, we still don't know what happened to the subsidy money.
Okay.
You put two and two together.
We were made to understand that it would be used for palliatives. We are still awaiting.
You are still awaiting the palliatives.
Palliatives.
Now, look at this. You just spoke about this Niger Delta militants.
Yes, sir.
In Nigeria today, real estate,
okay,
in Abuja, in Lagos, who are those buying the most expensive properties? Militants.
Okay.
Where did they get that money from? It has been said that the president decided to empower the militants so that when it comes to 2015,
okay,
when Boko Haram and the northerners are threatening a showdown, the Niger Delta militants
would be a backup,
would be able to counter them.
Okay.
These are some of the things.
They have been speaking on the pages of newspapers that
yes.
The president should not be touched in all that is going on.
If you say they are stealing the crude, and then the militants are being told to police people so they will not steal it, who was stealing it before? Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Who was stealing it before? In where I come from, Yoruba, they will tell you that you can't, you ask a cat to help you watch over a piece of meat. What is going to happen?
Okay. Okay, we don't even want to imagine. We don't want to imagine that right now. Well, we're running short of time, but really, what do you think is the way to go concerning? Before I get to that now, what do you think is the way to go concerning this report? What do you think? How do we get results? From this present position in which we are right now.
Let all Nigerians put pressure on the National Assembly. Okay. Let them pass this PIB.
Okay.
There's so many things there that will help the industry become more transparent, level playing field.
Okay, level playing field.
If it is true, ADAX, for example, is supposed to be owing 1.5 or $3 billion.
All right.
ADAX has said they are not owing a kobo. We have to find out the truth.
We want to find out who's telling the truth.
Who's telling the truth? If they're owing, they have to pay up. Anybody owing, Shell, anybody owing has to pay up. Collect this money. Let's stop playing politics. Let's put the right technology. Let's know how much crude is being pumped daily. How much is being exported daily.
Okay.
Let's focus on these things. Get the right experts. Even if they're out of Nigeria, if you have to bring them in from outside Nigeria, unfortunately, but if that's what it's going to take, these are the things that we should be talking about, not creating a smoke screen and
it's
making
that
so
bad
much
that
noise.
we don't even trust ourselves any longer, that we have to bring a third party into
Let
this
me just say something very quickly. This is the national Abuja.
Yes, sir.
I had some land matters there, ages, where records of lands in Abuja are kept.
Okay.
It's been automated. Now, I got to a point, I got stuck. Why? The gentleman in charge of the, let me call it the master computer, is a German.
All right.
He broke his leg. He went for an operation for 3 months. Nothing could be done. At the stage, I got frustrated, and I was speaking with the director of lands, asking him, how can this be? He said, this German has the password. And I said, well, he has the password. Can't you ask him for it? And he said to me, no, you must wait for him to come back. And then in a lighter mood, we were talking, and he said, look, let me be honest with you. It's better for this man to be in charge. If you put a Nigerian in charge, there will be so much fraud. That was as late as 2011. If he's no longer there, I'm not sure. But these are things that can be verified. This is a German company.
Wow.
Responsible for the security of land documents in Nigeria.
So,
So you can see what I'm talking about.
so in a nutshell, what are you saying right now, sir?
What I'm saying is, let's stop playing politics.
Okay.
Let's look at the report.
Okay.
The aspects that need the attention of the government,
Okay.
they should give it the proper attention. I believe
Okay.
that the government is being sincere for once.
Okay.
There can't be any cover-up.
Okay.
All these things are things that have always been within
The system.
the system.
Okay.
So let's look for how to manage ourselves,
All right.
cut all these loopholes, make progress, unbundle NNPC, let experts come and run it.
Okay.
Let every Nigerian have a share,
Okay.
if possible.
All right.
Then we know we are making progress in this country. Even though the ideal thing is to begin to look for other ways of earning income for Nigeria.
Okay.
We're already in trouble. America is not buying as much as it used to buy. Even the gas, if not for China, we would be in trouble. So all this is just being myopic.
Okay.
What's going to happen in 10 years' time? What's going to happen in 20 years' time? These are the things we should focus on, not making so much noise on, obvious things.
All right, that has been Mr. Adeni Odunsi, a legal practitioner, oil and gas legal advisor, and political analyst, preferring solutions to the issue, talking about the Ribadu panel report and corruption controversies in the Nigerian oil sector. So much issues coming out on the back of this issue, this topic right now, and he now urges Nigerians, urges the government now to be more transparent, to be more focused, and stop politicizing the whole issue and go to the brass tacks of the matter and deal with it with a more visionary and strategic perspective. And that's what we have been talking about on Let's Talk today. I hope you got something very interesting, something enlightening, something to ponder on, from what we've been talking about. And Let's Talk is always an opportunity for us, to share minds, to rub minds. You can react to us on our website. Will be displayed later on your screen. My name is Henry Williams, and I want to thank you for staying with us on Let's Talk.